before I get to my last question, there's one thing I wanted to ask you, which was you've talked about the power of, you're doing these retreats right now with, you just told me one's coming up with like 8,000 people, 2,500 people, and you're talking about the power of collective consciousness. And I think the world at large is experiencing what seems to be a dividing collective consciousness. And I think even if you look at it on a micro level, let's give an example of like a bunch of friends who like to get together and they like to like talk about their challenges and the problems and the issues they're having with whatever it may be. What's kind of collective consciousness is that creating, and how can people elevate each other together as friends? Because in the same way as you said, until we change, nothing changes. We keep seeing the same people. We're all in the same position and things are not changing. So obviously something hasn't changed.
First thing is that reality is a memory. We see reality through the lens of the past. It's just the way it is. So I have a memory of you, and as long as I have a memory of you, you show up equal to my memory of you, then I'm like, oh, I can recognize Jay. The moment a person starts to change in a small collective community, they don't show up as the memory that people have of them, like something's different, something's out of phase, right? And so then the question is like, what is it? What is it about you? And if the person's happier, then you suspect, oh, they are in love, or oh, they must have got a new job, or they're taking a new drug, a new medication, whatever it is, right? But they're genuinely just different or happy. So if that consciousness of that small collective is all about evolution, is all about love, is all about growth, you're going to say to that person, so what happened? And that person's going to say, I changed. Like, well, how did you change? I just decided that I was holding on to this emotion, resentment, and I've just been working for the last 2 weeks, and I feel better. Like, I genuinely feel better now that I'm not addicted to that emotion of resentment. Now, the person is naturally going to say, what? Well, how did you do that? Well, okay, and then you get in the conversation about change, right? Now the person's inspired by someone in the flock who's breaking out and changing their consciousness, changing their awareness, changing their energy, changing their emotional state. And it's evident. They're the example.